How's it going, folks? It's Lobo and welcome back to the channel. And finally, we have another damn episode of Daredevil. And yes, I know it's been a long time since I've reacted to this series, and it's not something I wanted to do. I did not want to abandon this, but we had some hiccups along the way. As you know, my channel was sort of in a state of just nothingness for about a month's time, and they moved this off of Netflix to Disney Plus. So I canceled Netflix. I'm like, I'm not paying for that. I only watched it for Daredevil. So we have it on Disney Plus, which is very exciting. Now I can continue with these reactions, even though I'm still about 3 weeks late on that time. But even so, I'm very excited to be back at this. And as I was mentioning that I sort of semi-abandoned my channel, I'm back. So you can catch another reaction to The Boys if you're interested in that. That will be in the description, as well as my new series, which is the new show around town, which of course is Moon Knight. I enjoyed the first episode a lot, and again, you can find that in the description as well. And just one more thing before we begin, next Friday and every Friday, you can catch a brand new movie reaction on my channel. Next week, we'll be continuing with the X-Men series. If you don't know, I already watched the first two, so next week will be the third one. You can find the reaction playlist to all my movies as well in the description, but without further ado, I stalled long enough, and I can't wait to get back into the world of Daredevil. Absolutely loved the 4 episodes that I've watched thus far, and I'm excited for the future. So, ooh, let's go, man. I just played Dying Light 2 about a month ago, so it's kind of weird seeing her here again. Didn't really care for her character all that much, nor the game itself, unfortunately.
You have a job or something to get to? Or are you one of those billionaire playboys I'm always hearing about? Oh, shit.
You just opened one of the cuts on your back.
That hearing.
Copper in the air.
The swelling's down. A rib fracture's only a hairline.
How do you... I mean, I know that you're blind, but you see so much.
Mix all that with what I hear. Subtle smells. All of the fragments form a sort of impressionistic painting.
Like, what do you actually see?
A world on fire.
Was that symbolic or his literal vision? Because that would remind me of Ben Affleck's Daredevil. No, you knew that was going to happen sooner or later.
You're gonna end up in another dumpster. You try to take down the entire Russian mob yourself.
Maybe I only need to take down one man.
Fisk?
Cut off the head of the snake. Body dies.
Перезвони мне, говнюк.
Oh, he doesn't know his brother's dead yet, yo.
My employer sends his regards and his gratitude.
Под кофе за углу.
Is Fisk gonna try to frame Matt? Black Mask.
The man in the mask.
He is doing that.
Это предание.
Мне его голову.
Oh, this fabulous intro. I missed it. Yeah, now that I have some time to talk, when he said send his body to his brother, I thought it was going to be like a message to start a war, but rather he's still using him. Just shows how intelligent he is and how he's able to sort of manipulate on a chessboard, so to speak, because he is the kingpin of crime. So I love that he's sort of putting them against Matt, like he has a common enemy and he's using people to his advantage. I'm like, damn, bro, this guy.
The Rankoffs are no longer a part of this organization since I removed Anatoly's head with my car door.
Deal me in on that. What the hell happened?
He barged in on my date.
The masked vigilante killed his brother. At least, that's what Vladimir believes.
A rising tide raises all boats, Leland. Profits will be divided up equally among us.
I love that line.
Then we're in agreement. Nothing changes until I'm ready to move on Vladimir.
Hello?
That sucks. She makes all her employees blind. Oh shit. Holy shit, I didn't even see him. Rip my man. The show literally shows no mercy. Jesus. Oh my god, he's so goddamn acrobatic, man.
My dearest brother, everyone know you took his head.
Dice que le da puros.
Something about cigars?
You know Spanish?
Oh, just what I remember from high school.
Armin Tully? Sleazebag owns buildings all over town.
Sí. Y señor Tully molieron nuestros pisos con mazos.
And they destroyed the apartments with an I don't know that last one.
Sledgehammers.
I was waiting for him to translate.
Do you want to do this?
No, I like listening to your voice.
Go on, Mrs. Cardin.
We do not want money. We want to stay in our homes.
Hablará con su abogado de arrendadores de tarde y estar en contacto.
Oh. Gracias, señor Meda.
I heard you say my name. Why'd you say my name?
Tully.
I can't go to L&Z alone. They're gonna shark attack me, Matt. Look at me. I'm delicious.
Well, take care.
And a backpack full of drugs.
Uh-oh. I'd buy you a one-way ticket to 30 years an asshole.
What if I give you another name?
You have to be big.
You'd have to be King freaking Kong.
Uh-oh.
His name.
No way this guy's gonna do it.
Wilson Fisk. Fisk.
He's dead.
No one supposed to say his name.
No! What's that? Jesus! Oh my God!
You really shouldn't have said his name.
Holy shit! Bro, I did not expect them to get them that fast. Dude, he has people everywhere. Holy fuck, man. Oh my god, and Matt literally heard everything. Dude. Yo, I got goosebumps, man. Jesus.
Go upstairs and...
Oh, we'd be finished before the elevator stopped. Your client can agree to a buyout or live in squalor till she's evicted.
Finished.
And did Mrs. Carnitas tell you?
Cardenas.
No one is gonna help her but us. If I were you, I'd go to Mrs. whatever today and strongly urge her to.
Convincing my client to agree to your terms, that's your job. And I'm not gonna do it for you. Danis and her neighbors will find a way to eat by. Armin Tully loses his condos. Your firm loses Tully, and that's very bad for business. So you're gonna see us in court, where I will absolutely dismantle you.
Damn, Foggy.
You would have killed it here, Foggy Bear. You never should have left.
You were really something back in the day, when you had a soul.
Damn, bro, you don't have to kill her. She's already dead.
You dated that?
Yep, let's step a little faster.
Literally beating on a corpse, man. Jesus. Burnt the shit out of her.
We're gonna talk to your neighbors too, okay, Miss Cardenas? We're gonna take care of you.
Gracias. Gracias. Gracias.
Of how they're both really not in it for money. They left. They sought to go on their own just to make a difference. I love pure characters.
You lied to me, and I hurt you. You killed him because he said a name.
No, okay. You really are one stupid son of a bitch, aren't you?
Oh! Will they ever learn? This is so violent. Kicked his head. You see blood splatter on the wall. I can see why parents didn't want their kids to click on this now that it's on Disney Plus. I mean, not that the previous episodes shied away from that, but still.
And I don't like to be questioned. But you can ask me anything, Vanessa. The 75 Brunella de Montalcino.
He's like, that guy won't interrupt us ever again. I bash his head in with my car door.
Sergei tells me you know something. Something about the man who took my brother from me.
Black, expensive, backseat all splattered with blood.
Who does it belong to?
Some big white guy. Bald as shit. Couldn't make it all out, but sounds like he and this Max dude are tight.
He works for Fisk. All this time.
Пусть ожидает. Приготовьте все. Все оружие, автоматы, гранаты, все, что у нас есть.
You, Senor Foggy, you stay. We eat.
No, Mrs.
You
Cardenas.
stay. There is no happen, okay? Venga, siéntese.
Did she just... Did she... Is this a date?
I sort of think it is.
Oh, it's just for the two of them.
That you hurt people because you enjoy it.
And you said you didn't believe that.
I can't believe that. Because if I do, that means you're not the man that I believe you to be. I just don't think I can let myself fall in love with someone who's so damn close to becoming what he hates.
You shouldn't.
This wine is even better than the last one. Did you pick it?
I've never had it. My assistant.
That famous assistant, man. Always recommending.
Yet the man says he was lonely when he looked at my painting.
My painting.
Damn, bro. Flexing hard.
Rebuilding this city. I want to carve something beautiful out of its ugliness. Set free its potential. They were my father's. I wear them every day to remember him. What kind of gun is that you have in your purse?
We've been sitting here talking for hours. And you're going to insult me like I have no idea what you really do? I know you're a dangerous man. That's why I brought a gun to a dinner date.
That I'm not proud of, Vanessa. I've hurt people, and I'm going to hurt more. But this city isn't a caterpillar. It doesn't spin a cocoon and wake up a butterfly. A city crumbles and fades.
Man, she's cool with that.
And Matt bangs his cane around and says, am I in the right room?
Where did you put his furniture?
Dorm room across the hall.
It's messed up.
On the plus side, he gets to touch a lot of pretty girls on their faces. That's, you know, how he...
You ever tell him what I look like?
No, he doesn't need me to tell him. He's probably got a picture of you in his head.
That was a great save.
I want to know how someone who is blind would see me.
I can't tell if she likes Matt or she's into Foggy, because Foggy's like has so much charisma and he's just so funny. Like he's got a great personality and has like chemistry with her. So I can't really read what's actually happening.
Все готовы на точках.
Жду звонка.
Звони.
Опять доставка от Гал.
Bro. Dude, this is mayhem.
Just tell me what you feel.
Jesus! Cayendo, man! We have to stop the bleeding. What's happening?
Your conversation with Vladimir caused him to react predictably. My employer's grateful for that.
Hey, happy to help.
He set all this up, man.
Выживу. Увидишь, как Фиск его собака в маске будет расплачиваться.
Hands in the air!
Raise those hands. Don't move. Raise them.
Hands in the air now!
You gotta run. Don't. Hands down, that was the best episode so far. That shit slapped, man. Jesus Christ. Watching Wilson Fisk, man, literally, I'm not saying like personality or the way he speaks, but characterization-wise, he really reminds me of the Dark Knight, Heath Ledger's Joker, to where he's just so intelligent and he's just 5 steps ahead. Always, and you can never predict that you're playing directly into his hand. Like the whole thing that he set up against Vladimir and shit, and then putting Daredevil against him, putting Matt against him with sort of like the framing, but it was all to get them in one centralized spot, and then even sort of wooing Vanessa over, and she's just okay with everything, and then he's like transforming the city in his own point of view, just like his whole essence and the motivation that drives him is just so incredible to watch because it's such a yin-yang sort of balance. I know that's sort of the how it's often portrayed with Wilson Fisk, that he's very complicated and very complex because there is some sort of desire to do good, but the means that justify the end are somewhat barbaric and very vulgar in a way, and we've seen that displayed. But just seeing his intelligence and his authority just thoroughly in this episode displayed in like every merit is just incredible. I absolutely love this episode. This is good. Hands down my favorite episode. I really think it's the best episode. But it was really all organized and carried out by one man in his vision and his plan. Like, god damn, man. We're going to talk more in depth about this, which is like fresh thoughts. This shit is crazy, man. What a crazy episode. This series is insane. I hate to say it, but even with just 5 episodes, I really think this is... it's hard to say because you can have one that you favor, but just from me watching, I think this is a better series than what we've seen out of the Disney Plus shows. But a large credit to that has to do with just the maturity, because even though, yes, it's not a necessity to have sort of violence and just showing more gore and really going a bit darker, it just gives you much more room to work with, because with that darkness, you can rely on those themes because you're really pushing it to the limit and having sort of the audacity of it, like visually, like seeing the reality of things when it comes to death and destruction and how things really play out. This sort of humanistic approach to where it's our inner goals and our desires that can take over even when it's unethical, and seeing it play out with sort of the mob, organized crime, and real violence. So with the rating that they're doing TVMA, I really think that, or more so, I wish that other things would do it. And it's just, what a fantastic series. I love this, man. I really do. I did not want to skip this for a month, but unfortunately it was taken off Netflix and I was sucked into the Batman. But this series this hits different, like it really does. I'm actually going to make this like a shorter post-reaction discussion because there's not really much I want to say. It's more so things that I have to take in and sort of digest a bit, because this was a lot. For one episode, this was a lot of plot and just a lot of things going on. In general, I thought in certain moments it was going to end, in particular when it was Wilson and Vanessa, when they were looking out in the window and seeing the destruction, the explosions, and she said, good, like in response to those men died, they'll never hurt anyone again, like they'll never... He's sort of admitting to having them killed and making a difference in his own way. In her responding with good, like I felt like that would have been such a fitting ending, and then it would fade to black, and you're just like, Jesus, man. But it kept going on. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but there was just so much going on in this episode. And I read this before. This episode was only 3 minutes longer than all the previous ones, so it's not something that was dragged out, but there was just a lot of jam-packed. Like, it had fantastic pacing. This episode was truly something special, man. I really enjoyed this episode, and it was just in its own way and just like standing alone, not just as sort of my favorite or just being like a really good episode. This was almost like artsy in a way. Like, it was so dark and reliant on a sort of well thought out story to where it was just the mind unfolding of Wilson's plan. Having everything line up perfectly, just him pulling the strings behind everything and organizing it and just really pitting people against each other for his own gain. It's just, as he said, a rising tide raises all the ships. Like, I love that line in general. I was aware of that line before him, but I just love it. And especially since it's him mentioning it, I'm like, yo, this fits so well. This is just perfect. And even then, when you just ignore the sort of grand plot of him just becoming so much more apparent in his presence because he's so damn powerful, even though he's not, yeah, I know in comics he might be a little bit super powered to where he has superhuman strength, but even just as a man, it really makes you think of real life to where you did have these organized crime units to where they just controlled a monopoly of people, to where it's even people within the police station worked for him. Like, you can't speak his name. So seeing everything, all the respect, all the authority, everything that he entails just from his name and his reputation is just, it's a little scary in a way too, because as I said, this was at one point and undoubtedly still somewhere today now is a real thing, to where it's the top of the mountain, the person at the very top, you can't touch them. Even though people know it might go on, you still can't touch them. It's crazy. But then on the flip side, you have Matt, who's trying to navigate his way through this chaos and discover Wilson Fisk. Like, he knows about him. Now he's trying to find him. But at first it was fighting Vladimir. Anatoly died, so he didn't really get a chance with him. But his main man is Wilson Fisk. So to see these two opposing forces going at each other is just crazy. And it's like unsettling too, because you have this idea that Daredevil is in the MCU now. He was in No Way Home, so somewhat this is canon to the MCU. So you have to think that, of course, Matt is going to survive. I saw Wilson Fisk in Hawkeye, so he survives. But even then, it's still unnerving that I'm watching this at points to where I'm like, look at how Karen and Foggy were on a date, and then just the windows blew out, and there was the explosion literally next door. It's just that level of sort of anything can happen at any given moment. It sort of invokes that anxiety and the real feeling of stress that has you on the edge of your seat. And I really respect and admire the show for doing that. Again, it's a lot of it has to do with that rating that they're allowed with. And I just hope for more things to really lean into that dark, or just really, really, really push the limits of PG-13 specifically. But I adore how they have been executing this in every way. It's not just me. A lot of people have drawn the comparison to Batman as Daredevil sort of being the Batman of Marvel. I'm not going to agree with that, nor am I going to disagree. I just think it falls within the lines of just having a character that's darker. And Daredevil certainly is. It's not just the way he dresses and uses darkness in night and sort of lives in a constant state of dark because he's blind, but also because of the violence that he acts out on. But just seeing him here having a bit of complexity too, to where Claire is saying, I don't want to fall in love with someone that enjoys this, that's sort of consumed and becoming what they are trying to fight against. And then him sort of admitting to his mistakes and that she's not wrong, that she shouldn't waste her time. It's, for one, it's cool because you're like, damn, this character's so edgy, so dark, but it's just something truly special to behold. But it's also a little bit sad because he's trying to make a difference, but sometimes you can get lost in your path. When you go down that road, it just can become all a blur in a way. And it certainly seems like he is he's on trajectory to do something great, which he has been. He has been making a difference, small time, but he hopes to do it on a bigger scale. But right now, it really feels like he's aimlessly reaching out. I wouldn't say he's in his infancy. I don't know how long he's been Daredevil for, but based on just having a black mask and this sort of tight long sleeve black shirt, you can expect that he's still within his early years. So there is a feel of him being not an amateur, but still trying to define himself as a person, as Daredevil. I don't even think he calls himself Daredevil yet. I don't even remember one mention of Daredevil. People have called him like, ooh, the devil got us. The Russians, when they spoke, they said a devil, but he has not been Daredevil yet. So from what I'm understanding, it really is him just stepping into that light, into that frame, but it's more so has to do with what's going on inside him rather than the actions he does, because he needs to understand what he's doing, but also he needs to find a true purpose, because right now he's just trying to make a difference. And yes, he's taking down people, but by the means, the excessive violence is sort of sadistic to where he's like, talk, and he really, really hurts people. And, you know, as like a not like a comic, because I don't read comics, you know that, but I'm vastly aware of specific characters, but just as more so like a DC/Marvel, just a superhero fan in general. When I see shit like that to where he's like talk, but then he's actually like really hurting him, or just like the way he fights and stuff, it's like you can't help but geek the shit out. You're like, oh man, that's so hot, that's so awesome. But it's also like, okay, calm down a bit, man, just chillax. So I love seeing that sort of inner conflict to where you can tell he definitely doesn't enjoy it, but it's almost like he's putting on a mask or he's lying to himself. So I love that sort of dilemma that's boiling within him. So I expect that, not at the end of this season, but I can't imagine once he does get his sort of Daredevil costume, we'll have a more refined and thought out to where he's set on a mission and he has a clear goal in mind. Because right now, all he can think about is Wilson Fisk. Wilson Fisk, I need to take him down. So I love seeing him on his own mission and how he's going to orchestrate everything, because this is definitely, I know I said it, this is violent, this is dark, this is chaos, literally, and it's not just someone he can fight. Wilson Fisk is, as I said earlier, he's got the chessboard and everyone is his pawn. Like, this is someone you're going to have to outsmart. Matt is very intelligent, but this is the kingpin of crime, so I'm like, damn. This is going to get good, man. This episode was insane. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I enjoyed this episode a lot. I'm very excited for next week to when I watch the next episode. But, of course, on Wednesday, you can catch my next reaction to Amazon The Boys. And, of course, on Thursday, another episode of Moon Knight. But more importantly, I've been saying this for months now, I have another X-Men reaction coming out next Friday. So, yeah, if you want to check that out, just stick around on my channel, because those will all be out next week. And of course, next Sunday, you can catch the next episode to my reaction of Daredevil. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. And until then, I will catch you folks in my next video.